I'm just going to come out and say it. There is no one true minor scale. So today I brought 5 pieces of evidence to demonstrate how there is no single true universal minor scale. This video is not for beginners. It's for intermediate players who've had some exposure to a few minor scales. So like you could play pentatonic minor. You might know natural minor, also called the Aeolian mode. You might have checked out the modes and you just want to get into modal playing or get into minor harmony. This video is for you. And the cool thing here is that there are more minor colors than you might think, and they are available to you without having to learn a bunch of music theory or learn an endless amount of shapes and grids. Point number 1, major is more important than minor in Western music. Major is foundational, and minor is in some sense a variation of major. And I can demonstrate that here just by spelling out the major and minor pentachord. So major and minor pentachord is just the first 5 notes of major and minor in sequence. So check this out. Let's do major. So there, we label those scale degrees 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As it exists in the major scale, it just gets a number without any sharps or flats. Now, if I want to play a minor pentachord, the first 5 notes in a minor sequence, there I have scale degrees 1, 2, flat 3, 4, and 5, right? So if I'm in minor, the third is called flat 3. And this interval of the third, the flat 3 against the bass is called a minor third, yeah? And in major, it's just 3. And the interval of the 3 against the bass is major third, right? So just by showing here, when you spell a major scale, the scale degrees don't have any alterations. When you spell minor, we're starting to alter the scale degrees. And this also debunks the thing that I will hear sometimes from people, which is that, well, there are all these different types of major scales, so does that mean there's no major scale? It's like, no, just look at how the scales are spelled, and it will demonstrate this point that in Western theory, major is foundational, minor is a variation. All right, so let's get into point number 2 of how there is no one true minor scale. And it's this fact: we don't need a minor scale to create the minor sound. So the minor sound, which I'll also call the minor tonality, can be produced definitively without a full 7-note diatonic scale. So let me just demonstrate that, okay? I'm going to create some minor tonality. So that's just a minor chord, minor 9. Right. How about just a simple minor? Let's go simpler, minor triad. Right. How about something like this? I would say that sounds minor, right? But what scale am I playing? Like, which of the many minor scales am I playing? You wouldn't be able to define it because minor is a tonality defined by 1, flat 3, and usually 5. That's going to create that minor tonality, and there are many variants that we can produce without actually using a single minor scale. So here's point 3 about how there is no one true minor scale. As we start to build up different types of minor scales, the 7th is the lever, and the behavior of the 7th really alters what type of minor scale we're playing. So let me just demonstrate here. The leading tone creates a wider minor palette, and being able to use leading tone versus flat 7 is going to give you options. Let me demonstrate. So here's leading tone minor. You hear this? That G sharp to A, major 7, up to 1. Tension and resolution. If I play it in a linear way, so that's where you get that leading tone minor, doing some interesting stuff. Now let me show you minor with the flat 7 instead of the natural 7, or you might call it the major 7. Here's flat 7, huh? Instantly a little bit bluesier, right? So you get all these different colors of minor depending on what's going on with the leading tone, what's going on with the 7th. So here's point number 4 to demonstrate that there is no one true minor scale, and I call this the argument from harmony. So if you look at the way that chords function in chord progressions in much modern music, you'll find that they don't always follow the standard natural minor scale. They will often use notes outside of that while still staying in the minor tonality. So let me give you an example here. So what did I do there, right? Okay, so I got A minor to E7. By the way, E7 has this leading tone, right? You hear that? That's the raised 7th scale degree. It doesn't exist in natural minor, but it is an important leading tone, creates tension, and then resolves back to 1. Right, so here's point number 5 to demonstrate that there is no one true minor scale. And this is where we start to bring it all together with this idea that 1, flat 3, 5, and anything else goes. You can have a minor tonality as long as you have 1, flat 3, and probably 5. Sometimes you don't even need 5, but that 1 and flat 3 and 5 will create this minor tonality. You can play it as a chord, play it as an arpeggio. And now we have established minor tonality, and from there anything else goes, right? So like, why not do some leading tone? I put leading tone and then I took it to harmonic minor, but what if I did this? More like melodic minor. Okay, what if I, instead of leading tone, what if I go flat 7? For something bluesy, right? May put in the flat 5 too. I'm still minor, right? I got my 1, my flat 3, my 5, and anything else goes. How about this? That's still minor, right? But it's Dorian minor. I got flat 7, and I'm going to take, oh yeah, the raised 6, major 6, for that brightness. Right, now let's do one more. Let's go to our classic natural minor. All of these are different colors of minor, and that's really the point here. If you want to play minor, there are so many different minor phrases that you can play and minor colors that you can explore, and you don't need to be restricted to one single definition of the minor scale, because it is a flexible thing when you understand how minor tonality is constructed. So if you want to go deeper with minor scales and you want to learn more about all these options available to you without getting overwhelmed with theory, I've got my course Minor Beyond Pentatonic, which is going to give you 27 practical licks in 3 different keys that you can use to explore this different minor tonality. So it's not a bunch of scale grids, it's not a bunch of shapes, it's a bunch of melodic phrases that you can use to demonstrate a wide range of minor sounds. I'll put the link in the description, and I'll see you in the practice room.